All right, guys, today we are going to be going over a 1-4-1 set that we call Atlanta. And it's a pretty good little 1-4, and we'll talk through this real quick. Here's our spaces on the field. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't matter too much. Here's 4 across the middle, 1 behind, and 1 up top. Doesn't matter too much who is in what spot necessarily. This is primarily going to be a dodging offense that is focused on getting something started from the wing. Okay, so just quickly, we'll go over everyone's jobs and responsibilities here, and then we'll watch a couple clips of Penn State running this really well. So assuming that we'll let the ball get to where it's going to go, and then we'll break it down from there. So Penn State's going to initiate the ball over on the lefty wing right here. Okay, so what they do, you kind of have one of two options. You can either run a jack pick out to the wing and let him set a stationary pick and let the Dodger go under him or over him. Okay, or this guy can just sit shallow and then read which way he goes and mirror him the other way. So essentially, if he goes over, he'll come under. If he goes under, he'll come over. And again, whether or not that's off of a pick or not, just depends on the specific look or what they're looking to get out of that particular possession. On the backside, as in most 1-4s, what you're going to see is a pretty simple mumbo look. So typically a mumbo would be a backside seal coming in and then leaking out to the far side of the field where the ball is. So that would be their pair. The little wrinkle that Penn State does that's a little different than what we do. First of all, let's talk about the X guy. Most of the time in this set, the X guy and the point guy, they're going to mostly be stationary. But what Penn State does that's a little bit different is if they get over the top, they cut their top guy down into the quad. I would consider this the quad, all 4 of those guys working together. They'll cut that top guy down into the quad, and then whoever dodged over the top will become the new de facto point guy. So you're not just stuck in your spots. Depending on where you started, you might end up in a different spot on the field depending on how the offense goes. So, and then finally our X guy, he will almost always stay in his spot. The only time he would move is if a dodge came underneath and started to invade his space. And in that case, again, he would then cut to the crease to become part of the quad, and the 4 would stay. They would rotate out in a way that they need to. That's less common than what you see Penn State do. They get a lot of this topside guy cutting in and getting underneath. So like most offenses, once we get our primary dodge, this would be our primary look. Anything that comes out of the primary is secondary offense or what I would consider to be just playing lacrosse. And Penn State does a really good job after they initiate offense on their primary dodge from the wing of just kicking the ball around and finding someone who can make stuff work. So we're going to watch a couple clips here. That's the basic tenets of the offense. Keep that in mind really quickly here. Ball side pair, point, and X. Backside pair, and they all kind of have different responsibilities, and you'll see the way they time these out. So on this play, they're actually going to swing the ball to this side and dodge off the righty side. And so here comes 14, setting kind of that stationary pick right there. You'll see that this mumbo has already happened on the backside. And then as he gets over the top, that's a good looking cut there. This point guy is now going to have to read. If his man slides off of him, this is a really easy drift and dump. If his guy stays tight, if his guy was to stay tight, then he would cut him through and give us the room for it to have our jet. So on this one, he'll dodge middle, and you see him cut down late. That was our point guy cutting down late. Here was our ball side guy that came here. This was part of the mumbo package. And then this was a guy who was on the crease to start, who is now on the backside. Crease guy stays stationary. He's backing up shots and finding a good spot. It's not the best look in the world there to get a shot, but they're able to get some ground ball offense going. and get a ball in the net. Next clip, this one's a little quicker. So on this play, it's going to take a second to set up. But again, let's identify here. We've got our X and point, and then we'll have our two pairs, our lefty pairs and our righty pair. Ball is going to work. This time they're going to initiate off the left-hand side. So here comes a good-looking dodge. He's going to get underneath, and you'll see his pair buddy follows him up here. They're supposed to get this mumbo here, and I think they just miss it. But it doesn't really matter because they've got arguably the best player in college lacrosse getting underneath to an S dodge for a good look at the net. So he'll just get underneath, walk right to the front of the goal. Penn doesn't get a slide, and that's a pretty easy goal for Penn State. So at full speed again, kind of keeping an eye. He drifted away a little bit there, but didn't really need to do much, that point guy. All right, next. So they will get set up. They're going to send Amit to X. And you see O'Keefe here directing traffic, telling guys where to go. They get the lefty on the correct side. They get the righty on the correct side. That's really key, right? They took this man who was standing over here and said, no, this is your spot. That's where you go. And they're disciplined enough to get to their spots before they run their offense. So again, identifying righty pair, lefty pair on the across the 4, point and X in their spots as well. This dodge goes over the top. 14, kind of a passive pick there, but he's just going to step back for a throwback. If they decided to slide off of him, that's where that look becomes effective. And then let's keep an eye on, here's our mumbo, our heavy mumbo. And then let's keep an eye on our point guy and see when does he decide to cut through. He'll cut through relatively early here, kind of get himself stuck. It's not my favorite of their looks, just because I don't think the backhand pass was really necessary here. But again, let's direct traffic here, get to where you want to go. Here's 5. He needs to get over here. Our guy comes out of the box. He runs directly to his spot. Take a shuffle step, and we get into our dodge. Right here, he's in a little bit of trouble. I think we're a little bit late on this mumbo. You know, I'd like him to be out here to be a little bit more available for this, or have this guy have already cut through a little bit harder, because as you can see, we've got 4 guys within 10 yards right here or less. So that's going to make that play really tough. So the ball carrier, bereft of options, maybe a good split to his left hand would have been nice here to make this pass a little cleaner. Good job by the defense. Good save. You know, still a decent look at the net. Back into it here again. Discipline to get into their shape. All right, and understanding who needs to go there. X, point, lefties, righties. Right, this one they're a little bit better spaced. I would say he's a little bit tight here because he came off the crease a little bit late. But regardless, here goes the dodge down under, which means our top guy's going to stay up. They actually throw it to X, and so here's the one where if they throw it to X, and now they switch spots. So Amit just caught the ball coming up from X to the spot. Now he is going to just become part of this righty setup, and the initial dodger will just head to X. So we're still in the same offense, right? We just switched who's in which spot. Can't be afraid to do that. This time over the top. And this is where Penn State just does an awesome job of JPL, or secondary offense, okay? Oops. So this secondary offense is really good by them. Okay, ball is going down to Amit. They know he's going to try to jet up over the top, which means they're going to cut down from the point. They're going to mumbo the backside, or they're supposed to mumbo the backside. I think that was the cutout. And then when Amit gives the ball up, We're actually going to be able to set like almost like a sideways cyclone. There's a cyclone down, pass across, doesn't work. Cyclone across again, attacking the right O line, getting a really good look in the middle of the field with his top hand. Watch this full speed with no telestration this time. Under, here comes over. Our three on the backside do a good job. Ament gets over the top. He sees a cutter. Cutter doesn't love his shot. It's a little bit of you get away with a moving pick because of the way he was kind of moving into the pass. So a lot of times you'd get away with that. All right. Next clip here. Again, we're in our set. I think they're a little late subbing a guy out of the box, but he would become either part of the lefty or he would bump this guy, or I'm sorry, part of the righty, or he would bump the point guy down into it. But we've got our lefty pair, we've got our X. One of these two guys will become the point, and then he's part of that righty pair over there. Over the top, they cut the point down. Now here's our righty pair. Here's our point guy who cut down and in, out of the way, giving us space to attack the middle of the field. He gets middle. So I think a look that Penn State would typically do is after they throw it to the point, they would just re-attack the righto here, which is probably the dodge he could have taken here. And then he could have played with O'Keefe. They could have played a little cyclone game, played a little righto attacking lacrosse. Instead, he goes down with it. And now we reset righty pair, lefty pair, point, and X. He goes under, so his partner pops high. We are mumboing the backside. I think we just need a little more communication right there. You get that mumbo, and they just keep moving their feet forward. Again, they dodge down, so they pop behind it. Now they're JPL out of this. I think we're actually going to get a bad turnover here, but in general, they're doing a good job moving their feet. This is a look I hate, and that's why. We probably are pretty deep down into the clock, so maybe that's one. Good defense by Penn overall. But you can see the way Penn State, they just keep moving, and if you end up in a spot that wasn't the spot you started in, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being in a different part of the offensive set. So it's not perfect. It doesn't always work out the way you want it to. But if you just keep moving your feet and you just keep cycling through the offensive set, eventually you'll get a pretty decent look. Like right there, if he attacks back with his left hand, if he's comfortable enough to attack back to his left hand and gets top side, maybe that's a decent shooting opportunity there. Okay, two to go here in Atlanta. All right, so kind of a not waiting, right? He's not going to get down here, wait, make eye contact with everyone, make sure they're set up. He's going to say, I'm a D1 college athlete. When I get to here, this is my trigger point to dodge, and my team's going to be where they're supposed to be. So let's see if they're able to make this one work. Oops, let's get that out of there. Kind of just JPLing out of this 1-4 now. Now they've got Ament, who's carried it to X. They know he's a feeder. He makes a pretty special play there. That's not the greatest example of this offense necessarily working, but I think if we're paying attention to just the confidence they have to just play a little bit of lacrosse and to just flow. Penn is being slow to go to Ament, so he's going to go to work on his guy. He's going to get his hands free and take a great shot there. All right, last clip for Atlanta. Coming out of a little bit of transition here, and we're set up, okay? We have lefties, righties, point, and X. All right, so just to reiterate here, ball side pair, okay? over under dodge, what we would call a two-way dodge, right? You can go either way. And when he goes either way, his man will mirror, will mumbo out the backside, and if he comes over, we'll cut the point, and if he goes under, we'll cut the crease. He goes under. This time, there's just absolutely nobody doing anything, and he gets himself a really easy look. I think we actually already did that one. We did. That was the second one we did. So bonus lacrosse there on that seventh clip. But again, we're hopefully getting a good idea of how Atlanta can work and what some of the ways that this offense can be a dangerous way for us to get quality scoring opportunities in the middle of the field with our strong hands, attacking with a mindset of coming off of the wings and really challenging defenses to have to make tough angle slides to us, either from up or down, and then moving the ball accordingly. Good offense here, Atlanta. That's all I got for you on this. Thank you. Go Perp.